state. This is Tampa Bay's Pan Talk.
Day one, I directed every member of my cabinet to, and by the way, Pete Hegseth got approved. And Kristi Noem just got approved, Governor. She's going to keep it. She's tough. She's a tough one. She's a tough one. And she's going to do a great job. On day one, I directed every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to beat inflation and bring down the cost of daily life. We want to bring prices down. Too high. They were way up. They didn't come down. I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, a foreign aid freeze. Oh, that's a nice one. And I created the new Department of Government Efficiency, and we're going to have a lot of good people. Elon, we're going to get Elon Musk to get involved in that a little bit. He already is. People like him. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Scam. Wasn't the environment supposed to eat us up like in 12 years? But that was like 13 years ago. What happened? We're still here. We're still here. Remember, we have 12 years to live. Remember that? Done by somebody that never even took a course on the environment. AOC +3. Do you remember those two? They were telling us about the environment. AOC +3. This action alone will save hundreds of millions of dollars of American taxpayers' money. I withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord. And I canceled the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. Keeping my sacred pledge to America's auto workers. Boy, did we get a big vote with the auto workers out there. And the Teamsters. Any Teamster in the room? We got a tremendous vote from the Teamsters. Thank you. And they're voting like one guy on it. But they voted for us in the millions. So we had a lot of Teamsters voting for us. I withdrew from the World Health Organization, where we paid $500 million a year, and China paid $39 million a year, despite a much larger population.
And good evening. What a new president. You know, we've got a president now that actually talks to the American people. He actually wants to talk to the American people. He wants to actually be in front of the American people, whether it's on the camera or in person. 1 week ago, a little over a week ago, he was inaugurated. President of the United States, number 47, Donald J. Trump, who went through more persecution from the American government in charge than any president has in my lifetime. I don't know about your lifetime. Depends on how old you are. But he went through a lot. 4 times he was indicted. 2 times he almost was assassinated, was shot in the ear. Went to rallies all over the country, talked to the American people, told them exactly what he was going to do. Promises made, promises kept, and he's keeping his promises right now. He's closing off the border, going and getting the worst criminals from other countries sent into our country, from prisons, from, like he says, mental institutions. Not sure where they could be in these other countries, but the other countries that were full of criminals sent them into America, and Donald Trump is sending them back. Return to sender. Heading back to the south of the border. How you doing, Ed?
You all right?
What's going? We got some pretty good clips tonight, right? I think you got some pretty good ones set up.
We got many clips, I can tell you that.
We got well, I said them.
Chance to listen to
when
them
I
all.
said them, I don't want you to look at them all. I won't give you any more like that a couple of weeks ago.
No, that's all right.
That one with the Biden, that was what a Biden, the way he used to get away with talking like that. If Donald Trump ever said that word, they never would have. Oh, he'd be still being persecuted about it. But maybe let's play a clip right now, if you want.
you treating migrants humanely? Yes. But there's been reports of them on planes with no water, complaining.
A bunch of crap.
What do you mean a bunch of crap?
ICE detention facilities have the highest detention standards in the industry. Any of the ICE standards, our detention standards are higher than any state or federal or local facility in the nation, in the world. Someone should go to the ICE website, look at PBNDS 11, performance-based detention standards, and look at our detention standards, highest in industry.
But are you sure you're only getting illegal criminal migrants? I mean, there were some pictures over the weekend of people that claim to be students, Brazilian students, who were showing examples of bruises on their arms from American deportation flights.
That's ridiculous, but if they want to make a complaint, we investigate it.
But your assurance is what?
The men and women of ICE are professionals. We do this for a living. And I can tell you, I ran ICE for years. I was the first director of ICE came up through the ranks. Again, these men and women are professional, highest detention standards in the industry. We take care of these people. But we're going to enforce the law, and we're not going to apologize for doing it. And
you're going to do it in a sort of public way with, do you need to use the big military planes? Is that part of a sort of shock and awe tactic? No. They haven't been used before, have they, for migrants?
No, we got President Trump. We're going to use all the government to secure our border, which is the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen. And we're going to enforce laws in this country. It's not okay to enter this country illegally. It's a crime. And when you cause a crisis as big as the Biden administration caused, when you overwhelm the Border Patrol, but they can't do their national security job, that's when the fentanyl come across, kill 250,000 Americans. That's when you have a 600% increase in sex trafficking. That's when you have a record number of no-inspected terrorists coming across an open border. President Trump's going to secure the border as promised to the American people. We're going to enforce immigration laws. That's what we're going to do without apology. We're on board. We're going to go forward. You're going to see it get a hell of a lot bigger in the near future.
Operation Warp Speed, deportation. Operation Warp Speed, deportation. The border operation. Tom Holman, he's the border czar. Kristi Noem, she's in charge of Homeland Security. She went into New York City last night with her vest on, with her, I'm not sure if she was packing a gun, but I know that she was there. She was there with Tom Holman going to get the bad amigos out of America. It's an amazing thing. One raid, they found enough fentanyl to kill everybody in New York City, in the house. Fentanyl. They found it. This is serious stuff. And for a British, well, at least with a British accent, woman, reporter, to be worried that these people.
She's not worried.
They didn't get water.
She's not worried. You can tell by her demeanor. She's not there to investigate this. She was there to make accusations, starting off by saying, there have been reports. I would have said, okay, who? Who are the reports from? Mm-hmm. Okay. And when she says, oh, you're putting them on military planes, is that part of shock and awe? Well, no. We quit sending them on domestic flights where they get a free meal and everything else. They are criminals. And and it's cheaper for us to put them on a military plane, and fly them back down there. But yeah, and then she said, "Oh, there's some people that you say you're going at." And this has been said. This is what the Communist News Network loves to pound the desk about. Is supposedly, when they go on these raids and they're getting, the bad guys, they're also getting some that are just here illegally. That's it. They don't have a criminal. It's called. What did they call it? Not friendly fire. It's like whatever it is. It's part of. In other words, you go in there and there's 6 people in there, and 5 of them are criminals, and 1 is just here illegally. Guess what? They all go because that 6th one is here illegally. They have broken the law. So what are you going to do? Let them loose? We've been doing that. And what do? They go out and get in trouble.
Well, we've been supporting them, too. We've been paying their bills. We've been putting them up in fancy hotels. We've been transporting them all over this country. They went wherever they wanted. The only ones that ever had to get moved out of a town was Martha's Vineyard when DeSantis sent 80 of them up to Martha's Vineyard in the middle of the summer. He sent a jet in there, a beautiful jet. He sent it, landed at the Martha's Vineyard airport, that small, it's not a real big airport, and they dropped them all all if they walked around the town, and those liberal elitists chased them off the island of Martha's Vineyard. They said, you can't stay here. You got to go back somewhere, because those people that want open borders, it's only in the towns and the cities that they want those people at. And they're not worried about the people. One guy was saying, one reporter was asking J.D. Vance about the pickers. They're picking in the fields. It's less than 1% of the immigrants that came into this country under Biden's administration that are working in the fields. They're going into the cities, and they're mostly living off your money. And Donald Trump wants to get rid of the IRS. Great. I hope he does. Tariffs. He's talking about tariffs with, he told the guy in Colombia 50%. So he said, the president of Colombia said, Donald, I'll send you my personal jet, because I know that if I don't send it, I may not be able to afford to fly it. It's a great new country under Donald Trump. And the tariffs that he's talking about with Canada and with Mexico and with China and with other parts of the world is something that America used to operate under. The tariffs, there never was an IRS. There was never an Internal Revenue Service in this country up until about 1913, I think it was enacted. But we don't need it, really. Constitution of the United States, the first paragraph says, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. That was written back in the 1700s, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the Constitution, and it established freedom in America. Did you feel free under Joe Biden? Did you think you'd be freer under Kamala Harris, who took the nomination away from Joe Biden? She was never even got any votes from any of the Democrats. You think Bernie Sanders would have been better to run this country than Donald Trump? A businessman, never stops. We got a president right now. Well, actually, it's like we have two presidents. He works the day shift and he works the night shift. He never sleeps. They say he only sleeps 4 or 5 hours a night, but he never stops working. And everybody knows that this man is a man that is going to make America great again. 727-441-3000. If you want to give us a call, 727-441-3000. We almost lost the auto industry in America. California is already trying to outlaw gasoline-driven cars. The most liberal state in the country, the biggest elitist state in America, is trying to get rid of cars. They want you to walk. They want you to hitchhike. They want you to stay home. Houses burning down in California. Donald Trump opens up the spigot, and the reporters are asking him, what does that mean? So some reporter went up Northern California to the spigot and took pictures of the spigot, the big valve there in the top, that trickles water, brings water down. And they were sending it out into the Pacific Ocean so that they could protect a couple of 3 or 4 inch fish. This is Gavin Newsom's America. Justin Trudeau has ruined Canada. Yesterday was the anniversary of the Truckers' Freedom Convoy. Yesterday. It feels like yesterday. It was 3 years ago. Trudeau shut it down. That was the beginning of the end of Justin Trudeau. Joe Biden made military men and women get the vaccine. And if they didn't get the vaccine, they were thrown out of the military by Joe Biden's administration. Well, they're back now. 8,000 of them. Donald Trump reinstated all their military career and back pay. January 6th, people were in gulags in America. And this woman's talking about water. The migrants don't have water on an airplane. 727-441-3000. Let's play another clip, Ed.
She'd probably start crying if they didn't have dessert either.
Well, they got a lot of tears, so they could drink their tears on those planes because there's a lot of them.
Weeks ago, over 100-mile-an-hour winds transformed the Palisades fire and other areas too into absolute infernos of death and destruction. First Lady and I are in California to express a great love for the people of California. The people are so amazing, and your fire department was so beautiful.
I just want to thank you for your focus on bringing sanity to California, water and fire policy. There's no place that needs a revolution in common sense quite like California.
I'm signing an executive order to open up the pumps and valves in the north. We want to get that water pouring down here as quickly as possible and let hundreds of millions of gallons of water flow down into Southern California.
We should not have to rely on buckets to put out a fire.
You were talking about the need to better manage our forests and our wildlands to prevent this from happening again. And you were so right about that.
I wanted to thank you for your loyal support to our military, our police officers, and especially our firefighters.
Mr. President, I just wanted to say Paradise is coming back because of the help that you gave us. And we really want to thank you for that.
I'm going to give you everything you want. I'm going to give you more than any president would have ever given you. Most presidents wouldn't be here, number one. They certainly wouldn't be here after 3 days. We're going to come back, and you come back as much as you need. But I'm going to be the president that's going to help you fix it.
He's fixing it right now. He opened up that valve, that beautiful water. That beautiful water is flowing down into the Palisades. A little late for a lot of them, but it's never going to happen again under Donald Trump's administration. Donald Trump went to California 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and said the same thing. You got to clear the forest. You got to have forestry management, but they didn't listen. They didn't listen to the genius Donald J. Trump. They don't want to listen to him. These reporters, these liberal mess. Jim Acosta, he's done. CNN's almost done. I mean, they're pretty much nobody's listening. The View is trying. They're trying to figure it out how to get rid of Trump. But a lot of their own people are starting to go against him because Donald Trump is on point with most things that he says. He's a very good man. It's nice to have someone that really does love the country, loves his children, loves his grandchildren, loves the American people, loves his job. Do you think Joe Biden loved his job? You Democrats, liberals, think that Joe Biden loved you? Do you think he loved his son, as long as he could get him money? The big guy, 10%, pardon him, pardon his family, pardon his daughter, his niece, and everybody else. Pardon Liz Cheney, who they say is worth tens of millions of dollars now. Pardon Adam Schiff. Pardon Dr. Fauci, the highest paid federal employee making over $400,000 a year plus benefits. The one that went to the game. Remember? Does anybody remember seeing him in the stands there at the Washington game with his people in the cardboard boxes behind him filled with faces, I guess? You know, the phony told everybody to. Well, I'm not supposed to talk about Fauci anymore. Nobody knows where he went. Everybody's wondering where he went. He's gone. He's probably in some country. Maybe he's in China. Could be in China. Hope he's not in one of those labs over there. I hope they don't have him working over there in a lab again. If I was Trump, I would be looking for him. I would kind of bring him in just to question him and see what he's been doing for the last few months. He's a man that you got to be reckoned with. You got to keep an eye on him, Dr. Fauci. I think. Anthony, where are you, Anthony? Where's Joe? Kamala, she's back in California. Has been loser. She's lost $1 billion. Can you imagine raising $1 billion and spending it? Well, this is what they did with your money. This is what the government, the Democrats, were doing with the American people's money. Zelensky's not getting any more money. He's finished. No more money, Zelensky. Maybe they'll take his house and he'll have to be bankrupt. Maybe they'll foreclose on his house. Elon Musk is buying a house in Miami. Elon. Vivek, he's not working with Elon anymore, I guess. Doge. He's going to be running for governor of Ohio, some people think. I don't know why, but he might like Ohio. I guess he's from Ohio. And Ed is thinking what American people think, right, Ed? Ed's kind of he's kind of happy.
With Vivek, the one knock on him is he doesn't have much political experience.
Right.
So I think what he's doing is he's running for governor of Ohio, and he wants to get something like that because he eventually wants to run for president. He's very young.
I would say he will.
You know, if he spends a couple of terms as governor, maybe then a senator, you know, then he can find himself as a vice president. Who knows?
He may be on the ticket with Santis or with DeSantis. I don't think DeSantis will run, but I think J.D. Vance will probably be the next ticket, right? For president.
I think more than likely DeSantis will run
against
because
Vance.
he won't be governor anymore.
But he's going to have a tough time getting.
Well, he's still going to run.
Trump to back him.
He's still going to run.
He might run. They collect a lot of money. I hope he doesn't. I hope he goes in and helps Trump for a couple of years. And if he wants to run, that's fine. It's up to him. It's America. And maybe Donald Trump will back him. Maybe Donald will. Donald, he's coming around. RFK Jr. J.D. Vance even used to say bad things about Trump. You know, everybody has, it seems like, except me. I've never said a bad thing about Donald Trump in the whole time. And I knew when he came down the golden escalator, I just had a good feeling about the man. I just think the man is a man that wants to see Americans. I didn't like the show that much, Prentice. I mean, I thought he was a little rough on the people, but that was where I like to, but let's play another clip if you want. Go ahead, I guess.
Is it anything you've been seeing or do you anticipate that there's going to be changes that we should be prepped for that we're not thinking about?
Honestly, I haven't been surprised by anything now. I mean, he's been doing essentially what he actually campaigned on that. Mm-hmm. He announced he is going to pardon the J6 individuals. He is going to absolutely go after the border. So there's a lot of things that he's already ran on. I mean, criticize a lot of it, and I don't agree with everything either, but it's undeniable he actually ran on that and been really upfront. He's like, I am your reputation, and he's kind of making those moves. So that's kind of where we're at. Early on, immediately after the election, I was like, hey, we have a choice. We can freak out and follow every other thing around, like a cat, with a laser, after everyone. But I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be that Democrat. For me, there's things I'm going to agree with. I'm going to disagree with, but I'm in the business of finding wins for Pennsylvania and for the nation and engaging the president. I think I see that as doing my job.
John Fetterman, the guy that he was actually unknown until he beat Dr. Oz. He ran against Dr. Oz and Fetterman, the guy, probably one of the better dressed senators we have now.
And I remember when he couldn't put a sentence together either.
I remember when they said he had a stroke. Well, he's come out of that stroke really, really well. And he looks, he almost sounds like a Republican sometimes, but he's not, I don't think. But you never know. You never know. Donald Trump is, he's got the effect on people, whether you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, some liberals, some leftists. So probably, I don't know.
When he says that Trump is ran, he's ran on a lot of things and has fulfilled a lot of things. Yeah. But there's still going to be people, I've heard him just recently, well, it'd be so great. How come the price of eggs has come down and the price of gas hasn't come down? Yeah. I mean, that takes time. I mean, the most pressing and most threatening need for the United States of America right now is to seal that border and get those people that are dangerous out of here. Because the price of eggs going down and the gas price going down, and then some jerk that got in here illegally sets off a dirty bomb somewhere,
Yeah, well, that could happen.
Cheaper eggs ain't going to make a difference.
There's a lot of people hiding out. Egg prices are up because of they say 65% up under Biden, 100 million hens were killed by the Biden administration, their health administration, due to the bird flu. So saving costs, Trump wants to save costs, but we can do without eggs, like you say, Ed. I'd rather have less terrorists, less people here in this country, because taxes will go down. Money, inflation will go down if we quit spending all this money in other countries. And if we could spend all this money on people that are here illegally, I mean, they got to be expensive. I mean, can you imagine supporting all these people? And that one woman, Samala, whatever her name, Gomez, was crying crying. She's a lying crier because she don't realize that these people were killing people. They were raping women, trafficking, fentanyl, drugs. What about those ones, Samela, or whatever your name is? Get on YouTube and do our TikTok and do a video and tell everybody how much you feel sorry for these poor people that are leaving.
You're talking about Selena Gomez?
Selena Gomez. Yeah, I said her name wrong, but
here she is doing her.
We got a clip.
Her alligator crying. Alligator tears.
Say that I feel sorry. How many people are getting attacked? The children.
You're Italian.
I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't
Give
know
them some of your
what
money.
to do. I'll try everything. I promise.
House. She's going to get a Grammy.
That's
Maybe
ridiculous.
In a couple of weeks, she's up for an Oscar. She's got a movie out, something to do with something. I don't know what, but I don't really follow her that much. But the kids, a lot of people follow her. She's a sensation in America, made multi-million. They claim she's a billionaire. So I don't know how she got $1 billion, but she's there on the internet crying while mothers are crying about what happened to their children, their kids, their girls, they disappeared. People are crying about the deaths of fentanyl, crying about a border being open and people flooding into this country by the millions. And now they're leaving. And we have a woman, an entertainer, crying about it. But she doesn't have she doesn't have any way to back it up when you look at what Tom Holman says. And these guys are rough people. Have you seen the pictures of them?
There was one I was looking for. There was one, the mayor of Chicago, that the ICE went in there and got in this last weekend and got somebody that has been wanted for years. And they got him, and he was an illegal, and he had many arrests before. He was wanted. And when they asked him, how come they did it and you didn't get it done? And his response was, the manager's response was, well, that's their job.
Yes, since 2009, he was being taken care of. He's in the city, and they took him out in a week. Donald Trump's taken thousands of people out of this country already, and they're going after the bad hombres, like Tom Holman says. They're going after the bad people, and that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. Hello.
Hey, Bill.
Hey.
Can you hear me? Hey, it's Jess Cohn. How are you?
Good, Jess. How are you?
Good, thank you. Hey, you made me laugh with the double shift president working day shift and night shift. It's so true, but it was funny. Hey, so I have a 2-part question for you. But first of all, that Selena Gomez. Oh, please don't ever play that again. That's not going to win an Emmy.
Play it again, Ed. Play it again.
No, it's the worst
play it again,
acting I've ever heard.
I think it's a great clip. I think it's one of the best clips on the internet right now. I want to go buy her song.
Bad acting.
Oh, she's a great actress. I mean, she did a nice job. I think AOC was crying too. They're all crying.
Oh, I'm sure she was.
The money train. Did you see Zelensky crying? He was crying the other day. He's not getting any more money.
Get together and cry.
We're going to get his house. We're going to take his house.
It's all virtue signaling and pandering. Look, Homan is doing a great job, and I know you and I will both agree they're getting the baddest of the bad first. The question I have for you, I thought about this, and I have a friend that's a criminologist. He works with the prison systems. And the thing that struck us both is if you got these bad guys, and I mean, you know, you have them, you have the evidence, you have them in custody, I would build a super prison and house them, because now you know where they are. You don't have to worry them. You got them. You don't have to worry about them.
I think we ought to send our prisoners on the plane with them.
But then
why don't we send our prisoners down? Don't let them back.
We're on the hook to take care of them.
Yeah, then we got to pay for
them. That's a great idea.
Trump's trying to save. He's trying to save money. He don't want to take care of these hombres.
I understand that.
Every one of them are going to, you know, they'll be killing your kids. They're a lot of, you know, I've never met them. You know, I don't know any personally, but when you see those pictures of them as they're catching them, and Tom Holman, that great pit bull, going out with Kristi Noem in the middle of the night, and even Dr. Phil is involved in Chicago. Dr. Phil.
The guy recognized him and said, "Hey, you're Dr. Phil."
You're going to see Donald Trump giving them McDonald's at the airport as they leave, because they're complaining they're not even getting a cup of water. Well, give them a bag of French fries from McDonald's. I mean, give them a Big Mac and think of the money that they were getting, and the money that was being spent on them, and all the money that Walmart is losing, and Target is losing, and all the grocery stores are losing because of these people that were like that water he just let out of the North California. That's the way America's economy was going, that we were being flooded at losing money, washing it down. Remember what your mother used to say, don't wash it down the drain. You spend money like water. And that's what
you talk about.
Joe Biden was taking money while he was spending it. And look,
somehow it was all about money.
And the Democrats would vote for Joe Biden again if they could. The Democrats are the ones that need the education. They need to be educated that Donald Trump is out to save America. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're John Fetterman. John Fetterman's coming along. Yeah.
Shockingly, Fetterman makes more sense now than any of them, because he's real.
I know he's real, and he needs to get a new set of clothes if he wants to go back to the MAGA home down in Mar-a-Lago. Hey, Ed, let's play another clip, because I know we got Jess. If Jess likes it, other people have got to like it. We're going to play another clip. So, but thanks for calling.
I can tell you right now, Chris, is we arrested 1,300 people. Over 1,000 of them were criminals. Who are the other ones? They're either fugitives who've been through immigration court in order to remove but didn't leave, became a fugitive, or collaterals. Or did a collateral arrest happen? In sanctuary cities, because they forced us into the community. Look, I said from day one, no one's off the table. If you're United States illegally, you got a problem. But we are concentrating on public safety threats first. And it just makes sense. I don't care if a Republican, a Democrat, independent. Why not let law enforcement go into a county jail, a taxpayer county jail, to arrest a guy that you locked in a jail cell? So obviously the public safety threat, that would solve a lot of this problem. And I hope the sanctuary cities come around. I really hope once they see what we're doing, and we'll invite you out, we'll be very transparent. Once they see that we really are concentrated on the criminals, that they'll come to us and sit at the table and work with us.
Yeah. Stay there, work with us. And they say today that Tom Holman is having a trouble with the law enforcement in these cities, these sanctuary cities. What kind of a sanctuary city do you run, Mayor of Chicago? Do you run Mayor of LA? Do you run Mayor of Boston? What kind of a sanctuary city that you harbor criminals? I mean, these are hardened criminals. They're like the gangs of I guess a lot of these people are from other gangs of other countries, and the American people are paying for this. So the politicians want to see you as an American people, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. If you're still a Democrat, get on the Trump train and try to follow a man that is a true leader of this country, because the Democrats are going to wash your money like they're washing money down the drain into the Pacific, washing it to save a fish. No more windmills, no more. Solar farms probably still will be made, but no more windmills. They're going to be stopped. Green New Scam, he called it, the Green New Deal. Paris climate change, he pulled out of that. He's He's got so many plans. The pipelines are open now. Probably going to start the Keystone Pipeline up again. Canada wants to. Now, today, they said they want to make the those like they have in Israel. What are they called? The dome. They want to build the dome all across the country, all across America. Trump announced that today. The Iron Dome, like they have in Israel.
Yeah.
And they say it costs a lot of money, but he says it's all going to be made in America.
I want you to listen to this woman. This woman's got some great ideas on immigration, what we should do.
Okay.
Hey.
Conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
You know who that great woman is?
Oh, well, that sounds like Hillary.
Hillary Clinton in 2010.
Hillary Clinton.
Imagine that.
Obama said the same thing. He was the same way with immigration. They wave their wind. It's like the way the wind blows, you know. But,
I got to send that to Ed Golly for.
But we have so many people that came under Joe Biden, and if it had continued under Kamala Harris, a country would have probably been doomed. I think I don't know. There maybe something would have happened, but it was just one of those things that if you drove from here to New York, you'd see hundreds on a road trip, hundreds of buses running up and down the highways, even going over to Orlando on a Saturday, buses. But now you don't see the buses if you drive to Orlando like you did. They were busing these people all over the country. And they were letting people from January 6th lay in the gulags and in the federal prison system. And there's some of them being killed. One of them was shot by a sheriff in Indiana a couple days ago. And somebody said that 2 more got killed since they got out. And I don't know what's going on, but I think that there's going to be a big cover-up with the Federal Bureau of Prison System. There's no end to it all. IRS agents, 80,000 of them. Trump is going to send them to the border if they stay. Probably going to take their license away, maybe. You don't have to give them guns. Why did they need guns to come and get money from the American people when they're giving money to the foreigners, the illegals coming in here? They're doling money out. Do they got to pay anything back to the government? Is there any pay plan back? No. They're leaving our country. Are they giving anybody anything back? This lady, Samela, Gomez, crying for them? Cry me a river. Then why don't you, like you say, go down and move down there with them, take all your money, and have a commune full of illegals. They'll probably be illegal in their own countries. A lot of them are leaving. They say the border, a lot of people are leaving. A lot of people in these areas where they were working on homes and stuff illegally, the homes building is stopped, literally stopped since, and it's only been a week. The Trump effect has happened so quickly, but Donald Trump never stops. He never stops. He was at a rally the other night. He was in Vegas. No tax tips, and those Vegas people love him. They just loved him. They clapped. And you know where he got the idea? From a waitress. He said the waitress, she won. She helped me win my election. She told me, don't tax our tips, Donald, please. And, that's controversial, but if they can get more money in their pocket to spend, let's play another clip, and we'll keep it moving.
Carolina on immigration. Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
You may have to point at the worst first. They all have a criminal record.
And welcome to the break. If they broke our nation's laws, yes, they are criminal. Yes.
Thank you. On stripping
Caroline, on
and
immigration. Of the
Thank you, Caroline.
3,500.
Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's new press secretary, the biggest upgrade. She said today that they're going to bring podcasters in to ask questions. They're going to bring people in social media in to ask questions. They're making anybody that wants to sign up can send a application to go up there and maybe ask some questions. That would be a great thing, but it takes time.
I think we got it.
This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment. So it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media. Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex. So in light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room.
Donald, you can't keep up with the guy. I mean, let's play another clip if we got another one. We got some nice clips. That was a great one there. Play another if you got it.
Of the United States. That is my job. And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who is implementing policies that are wildly popular with the American people. And that's exactly what this administration is doing. It's correcting the lies and the wrongs of the past 4 years, many of the lies that have been told to your faces in this very briefing room. I will not do that. But since you brought up Truth Seek, I would like to point out, while I vowed to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House. So yes, I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to do the same.
Boy, she really trashed the former
She did. She's
White House press secretary, John Paul Jones, or whatever she calls herself.
John Pierre. The biggest.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whatever.
The biggest upgrade in history. Caroline Claire Leavitt, born August 24th, 1997. 27 years old, born in New Hampshire. She's a Republican. She's got one child. Oh, she's got a great career ahead of her, and she, I think, is going to have a lot of fun. Her family owned an ice cream shop in New Hampshire. She attended a Catholic church and went to college, and now she's going to be one of the most famous press secretaries ever. This girl likes her job. She loves America. She's 27 years old. This is the new America. The youngsters. J.D. Vance is only 39 or 40. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is a little old. He's up pushing 70, but he's up there. But some of these others, Rubio, a lot of them are younger people. They're younger generation of people. The podcasters are younger. Charlie Kirk's of the world. She wants people to get a chance to ask questions, to ask good, honest questions. The free press will be free again. Hasn't been free for a long time. The national media, the media that they call it the mainstream media is finished. It's finished under the Donald Trump administration. NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, ESBC, they're all going to be hurt under this administration because they don't tell the truth.
Speaking of CNN, here's one from CNN that are making a fool of themselves.
Not want to do. So how does President Trump make sure that the effort to deport people who are not in this country legally doesn't end up hurting Americans who want safe borders, absolutely, but also don't want to see even more higher prices in groceries.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not your position, Jake. You're just asking the question that we should supply America's food with exploitative illegal alien labor. I obviously don't think that's what you're implying. Only 1% of alien workers in the entire country work in agriculture. The top destination for illegal aliens are large cities like New York, like Los Angeles, and small industrial towns, of course, all across the heartland, as we've seen with the Biden flights. None of those illegal aliens are doing farm work. Those 30,000 illegal aliens that Joe Biden dumped into Springfield.
I'm talking about the ones that are.
But I'm explaining this. It's important to understand.
No, you're kind of changing the subject. I mean, I'm talking about the ones.
I will give me 30 minutes. I'll go as deep as you want on this.
We don't have
you and your audience.
I don't have I'm talking about the ones that work in the agriculture industry.
I'm
you can come back and we can talk about the ones in the cities. I swear.
I'll do the whole answer. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work. They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They're in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, we will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are especially not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. So we are going to unapologetically enforce our immigration laws. And as I'm sure you will celebrate, we are going to unleash the power and might of the U.S. government to eradicate the presence of transnational threats on our soil.
The great Stephen Miller, born in August 1985, 39 years old. He writes Donald Trump's speeches, many of them. He wrote his speeches back in the first administration. This man is a genius when it comes to holding the press accountable. And he did that to Jake Tapper on CNN News, who was trying to make him into a kook, you know?
Well, the argument comes when you don't answer the question the way the host wants you to answer it. So he's trying to stick to that one thing. And when you don't answer it the way he wants, in other words, if you don't just give us if you give us the whole story, we don't want the whole story, because then people will realize that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So just answer me yes or no as to the illegals that are out working in the fields and stuff like that. And when you say that, I thought that would be that was wrong, because it's profiling that because they're migrants or immigrants that they're working in the fields.
Well, they're working in the
or cleaning our toilets or working in our kitchens.
It is profiling. And the migrants and the immigrants, illegal, are thrown in the same category as with a Democrat.
And I agree. There are ones that are here that work their asses off.
Well, I'm not disagreeing to that.
They work their asses off.
But what about the ones that don't work?
No, I agree. But the ones that are, there should be some sort, like you said, of a guest thing to where maybe they can work themselves into being a legal citizen by paying taxes and by paying a fine and getting in line and do it and learning English.
And that would be the hope. That would be what we hope. We hope that happens, because we are America and we are a country filled with immigrants. Immigrants have made this country great. There's no doubt about it. And I believe Donald Trump knows that. Donald Trump wants to get the bad ones out first. He wants to do that, Tom Holman. Donald Trump is a man that wants to help protect Americans. Joe Biden didn't care. I mean, when you think about all these stories that we were reading every single day in the news, where these tragic crimes are being committed against the American people, the innocent American people. And now it's payback. Look at what they did to the January 6 people, the people that went into the Capitol. Many of them peacefully walked into the Capitol, and they put them in prison. They put some of the moms in prison at the abortion clinics that were just walking out in front of an abortion clinic. For years, they took them. Joe Biden's DOJ under Merrick, I won't even say his last name, the DOJ, and now they're giving Kash Patel Thursday. You will listen to the senators grill Kash Patel, who may take over the administration from Chris Wray of the FBI, and Tulsi Gabbard, who will be in charge of another department of intelligence, I believe. Tomorrow is Kennedy's going to be up on the Senate. You can watch all this live on, I believe, PBS, Public Service Radio, or C-SPAN. I think it's on C-SPAN. I know it's on Twitter. I know you can watch it on Facebook. They have these. You probably can watch it on Newsmax and on Fox News. Get involved in politics. Get involved and find out, especially a Democrat. I don't have anything against these people because I know that they listen to this wrong, false narrative. Like Ed said, they want these people to say the answers. But now the truth's coming out. Donald Trump has revealed a lot of truth to the American people in the last 7 years, 8 years. All his life, he's been a pretty good guy. Maybe we got any more clips, short ones? Maybe, I know we got a few minutes left, but let's go through a couple more clips if we can, if you got any left.
It's really been amazing so far in this administration, the support that we've been getting. This is essentially like a unprecedented whole of government approach that we're experiencing. Yeah, because along with ICE, both enforcement and removal operations and Homeland Security investigations, we have agents from ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshals, and the FBI out here, along with attorneys from DOJ and attorneys from our own ICE offices. So it's been an amazing the support that we're getting, because some things that have been difficult to coordinate before, because there's so many different agencies, we've been able to get everybody in the same room and get kind of real-time updates, real-time intelligence and real-time advice to make sure that we're doing this the right way. We're not targeting people in schools. We're not targeting people in churches. We're targeting people who are the worst. There's a chance they're going to go to some of those places, and this administration has kind of taken some of the handcuffs off of us in a way, right? Where we're leaving the discretion with our officers, and our officers are trained to make good decisions out there. And we support them. And that's the one thing that we have to realize. These officers now, when we could have arrested somebody at a safe facility, right? A jail or a court lockup with one or two officers, and now we have to go out into the streets. Now most of our teams are at least 10 agents and officers trying to arrest one individual.
That's what they're doing. They're arresting at least one individual. That's what they want a good one-on-one. Donald Trump has closed the border, sealed it down. Still people coming in, building the wall. The wall is getting built, and we're on a roll in America. The golden age of America has come. Donald Trump, when he came down the golden escalator back in 2015, I don't think he ever thought that he'd be using the word golden age. He calls oil gold. Black gold is what he calls it. And California, look at what he's done there. He's helping them. Went to North Carolina, helped people there. He's helping America. FEMA, they should change it to TEMA, Trump Emergency Management Trump Emergency Management Association. And we're going to take this show out with that great song, Only in America with Jay Black. And I want you to don't be afraid to speak your mind, and don't be afraid to get involved, and don't be afraid to open up your mind to listening to the conservative point of view. The conservative point of view is we've been listening to the liberal point of view all these years. Things are changing, Listen to my minutes on Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday at 8, 11, and 6. I got a minute right after the news, CBS News, another liberals company. They never say much good about Trump, but maybe they will. Robert Nostalgia Radio and Cars is coming up next, so tune in and listen. TAN Talk Radio Network. Thank you, Ed.
Watching cars, take a giant step and reach right up and